Okay, welcome to the nerd domain. So I just thought I'd show off like some of the stuff I've accumulated like over my life. I'm an old person, so like a lot of this stuff I had when I was a kid. So like here's like my Power Ranger stuff. I got my Tommy shelf, the most important shelf in the room. And like all the Megazords. This is all stuff from like the early '90s over here. These are actually cool. I have this one here, and then I have these ones over here. I actually got to meet all the Power Rangers from the cast that are still alive. Yeah, and then this here, this is a work in progress here. This is I'm building like a to life size Green Ranger because he's my favorite Power Ranger since I was a kid. And this is like a lifetime thing because when I was a kid, the only costume they didn't make was the Green Ranger, and he was my favorite. They made White Ranger instead. So this is like one of those like weird man-child things where I'm making it now at 30. So yeah. Here's like my Ghostbuster Shelf. So you have like the original Proton pack from the cartoon show. These are actually custom figures made by BAM Toy Company. Those are awesome. And here you have like some Hasbro ones from the movie and like all the cartoon series stuff. My daughter loves getting like this down, and like the Ghost Trap and the goggles and the PKE. We were Ghostbusters last year for Halloween, so she loves Ghostbusters. More Power Rangers because I just can't get enough of that crap. So there's more of that. Ninja Turtles is like another one of my big loves. I actually just got this Technodrome this year, and this is like one of those things that like was again like a childhood thing that was never under the Christmas tree. And so I'm 30 and I got it now. But yeah, I got the good guys and the bad guys, and this thing's pretty weird. I found this at like Sam's Club. It was like $40 or something. It's just a giant turtle. Yeah, and then you got like all the cartoon series from the 90s. Two of them are Marvel and one's Batman, but I couldn't fit any more Batman on the Batman shelf, so they go up here all together. And Star Trek, Star Wars. I love the Star Wars trilogy, and Godzilla. Who doesn't love Godzilla? If you don't love Godzilla, you didn't watch it. So, and the Universal monster movies. These are things that I used to share. A lot of this stuff really my mom showed me, but this especially, like my mom got me into the Universal monster movies. When I was a kid, I remember like my first job was cutting my grandma's grass, and she'd pay me $10 every week to cut her grass. So they were like releasing the VHS tapes at that time, and I remember every week after I got my $10, I went right down to our local grocery store. They had like a little stand there, and I'd get the next one. And I remember like being surprised when October was over, they were gone. And so after that, I had to find other ways to get them. But that's the action figures pretty much. I have some like kind of random stuff here, but also I love The Simpsons. Also, if you don't love The Simpsons, you never watch The Simpsons. But like classic Simpsons is one of my favorite things that I've really gotten into over the years. And my Blu-ray shelf. This is becoming a thing of the past. People like streaming and stuff like that, and that's great for convenience. But when contracts end, stuff gets pulled off. Well, I always have it right here. So the gift right there. If I want to watch that, there it is. This is kind of like a random video game corner here where you got a lot of the Nintendo accessories. That's my favorite video game system ever. It was my first one. So you got Rob and the Power Glove. It's so bad. This arcade cabinet, me and Giff actually got at a drive-in theater. And actually, it was really funny because the people working at the drive-in theater, Giff walked away for some reason. Corey. Yeah, he introduced himself as Corey in the video. He walked away for a minute, and they were talking to me, and they were like, "So, is your dad coming back or what?" And it's like, no, that's not my dad. That's my best friend. But we got this at a drive-in. Here's like a lot of kind of like more obscure. I got some box consoles, but also like some weird VHS tapes. I got this at like Goodwill. This is like a Japanese exclusive Mario. I love stuff like this where it's just like the stuff from the era, like it's just notepads from the 80s and the coloring book and stuff. These little portable arcade cabinets were great from the early 80s. So, and you got Mario for lunch. So, yeah, and then over here is like the video game collection. Like I said, my mom gave me her Atari when I was a kid. I'd play that at my grandma's house, and then my first console was the Nintendo. So a lot of this, it was accumulative. It started at 7, and the problem was it never stopped. The next console would come out, and I didn't want to trade in the old ones because I still liked those games. So it just got bigger and bigger until it became a big problem. But yeah, so here's all the games. Over here is that's like the Nintendo corner. This is like the Sega corner, which is rightfully much smaller. Yeah, you got to acknowledge it. It's kind of like the mole on your face that everybody sees. But, Sega's okay, I guess, 30 years later. Yeah, and then I got this is like the Sega Genesis Model 2 with the 32X attachment on top and the Sega CD, and then the Genesis Model 3. This, I sometimes I think about putting plaques on my wall with little pieces of history or information. This to me is like the death of the Genesis, because they just kept stacking on stuff instead of making a new system. Here we got some Game & Watches. So, if you never saw one of these before, they were kind of before Tiger Electronics. They were basically with calculator technology, really affordable ways to do gaming, and it was actually the first use of the D-pad. Yeah, other portables, other stuff I've gotten at conventions of stuff I love, the toys you've already seen, but I got pictures over here. These are some of my favorite things over here. I guess probably the last thing I'll show you. These are my Nintendo Powers. So I have the first, I want to say 68 to 69. Basically up until they changed the logo from this yellow one to a gold one. I don't know, you get to the N64 days and stuff gets a lot more tacky and less charming. So, but I kind of have the first run of Nintendo Powers, and it's a blast to open up those and just look at how funny things were back then, and the articles they'd write, total propaganda. But the layouts are you don't see anything like that anymore. And this is something else that's just kind of a thing of the past, like magazines. Everybody gets their game news and stuff on the internet, but I love these. I'll show you one more thing. Bonus. My mom and dad actually made me this table for Christmas. I want to say 2014. So they cut out all the pieces. My mom painted it. A lot of people really, I've had it for so long, I forget, but when people come over, this is one of their favorite things. So I always I like that because my mom and my dad made that for me. So thanks, Mom and Dad. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's the nerd domain. I was just kidding about that being the end. More bonuses coming this way. This was actually kind of like a lockdown project that I did, where this was the ugliest bathroom in the history of forever. And so we decided we'd paint it, and I hired somebody to make these decals. And it's you're in an underwater Mario level when you come in here, and you got Rob holding your toilet paper. He's always got your back. Yeah. Motion sensor. My daughter likes to come in here and go ba-king, ba-king, ba-king. She runs all around getting the coins. But that's the nerd bathroom.